Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest installment of the Edson Sustainability Series, where this time we'll be going over some good news stories in sustainability. Sustainability and energy management can be a very discouraging field, and it seems like everywhere you look, there's bad news about ice caps melting, deforestation, extreme weather events, and because of that, it's easy to lose track of the progress that's being made towards more sustainable futures. And it's easy to lose track of all the good things that are happening close to home. And in this presentation, we're going to go over three major areas affecting Alberta that we're seeing really good positive stories in. And that's in renewable energy, land conservation, and some success that we're seeing in the town of Edson. So jumping into renewable energy, it might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but Alberta is seeing a massive investment in renewable energy capacity. There are currently 52 major projects related to renewable energy or alternative energy that are in the planning stage or the construction phase. And this is totaling over $10.2 billion in investment. Now, because of those investments and those major projects, Alberta is the fastest growing area in Canada for wind and solar generation capacity. The majority of these projects, of those 52 that I mentioned, are wind and solar installations, with a few of them being some pumped hydro storage, some battery storage projects, which are really exciting and really innovative projects. Through the Renewable Electricity Act, the province has legislated that 30% of all generated electricity in the province should be renewable by 2030, with interim targets for 2022 and 2025. So in 2020, 14% of electricity in Alberta was renewable energy, so wind, solar, hydro. And it's estimated by 2023 by the Canadian Energy Regulator that 26% of all electricity will be renewable energy. So that's way ahead of the 2025 interim target of 20%. So there's a lot of really good progress being made in renewable energy. And that's through major projects such as the Travers Solar Project, which itself is the largest solar project in Canada, which is currently under construction in Lamond, Alberta, down south. When completed in Q4 of 2022, so very soon here, it will provide electricity to up to 150,000 homes and offset about 472,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year. And additionally, this project has created over 500 jobs for the construction of it and will result in 10 permanent skilled jobs for the area in operation. Since 2019, renewable energy has created over 3,000 permanent jobs, which is an absolutely massive amount of investment in Alberta's workforce. And so when I say that this is the largest solar project in Canada, to give a sense of scale, this is how it would look if it was overlaid over downtown Calgary. So we're talking about 3,300 acres, or about 13 square kilometers, or 5 sections of land. It is a massive project, and it's really encouraging to see that this sort of investment in solar energy is happening in Alberta. Bringing it closer to Edson and the Yellowhead County area, another innovative and exciting project in the planning stage is the Canyon Creek Pumped Hydro Station. Now, this is the first pumped hydro storage project approved in Alberta, and it's planned to be located on Obed Mountain over by Hinton. And it can provide up to 75 megawatts of power for 37 hours, which is a very large amount of power that can be used to stabilize the grid. Now, how pumped hydro works is that there's an upper reservoir and a lower reservoir. And during times when electricity is cheap or there's a lot of renewable energy on the grid, water is pumped from the lower reservoir up to the upper reservoir for storage. So the whole system acts like a mechanical battery. So when electricity prices are expensive on the grid, or there's a lot of fossil fuels on the grid that need to be stabilized by renewables, the upper reservoir can be let go and pumped down to the lower reservoir to generate electricity. And when we say 75 megawatts of power for 37 hours, what does that mean? And to quantify that, that is the same amount of power over 37 hours that the Edson wastewater treatment plant uses in 2 years. So it is a significant amount of electricity and energy stored in this system. Currently, it's in the planning phase for implementation of this project. And once completed, there are future plans to increase the capacity up to 400 megawatts, or up to 5 times the capacity of this currently designed system. So it's a really exciting project and really innovative project for stabilizing the grid for renewables and intermittent sources of energy. The next success stories in Alberta come from land conservation and a lot of work that's being done to protect sensitive ecosystems and sensitive cultural areas in the province. And the one I want to highlight is the Kitiskino-Nwenene Wildland Park, which is shown in the graphic here as the purple hashed area. So this was a wildland park that was established in 2019 and protected over 1,600 square kilometers of boreal forest up in the northeast portion of the province. And it protects caribou, bison, and the traditional lifestyle of the indigenous population, specifically the Cree and Dene people. And this area up in the northeast of the province by Wood Buffalo National Park is a very sensitive area in terms of biodiversity and the ecosystems that are there. So this is up in the Peace Athabasca Delta, and this is one of the most biodiverse areas in Canada and one of the most at-risk areas in Canada. The Peace Athabasca Delta is the largest inland watershed in the world, and as such, it is a part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Wood Buffalo National Park. So industrial activity has been putting this area at risk, and further protection is needed to protect this sensitive environment. In 2022, that step was taken. So Kitiskino-Nwenene Wildland Park in 2022 was expanded to over 3,100 square kilometers of protected area, as shown in the green hashed area. So there's a significant expansion to the park. And the good news on this story is not only is land being protected, it was done in a collaborative way between Indigenous groups, the provincial government, and private industry, with private industry voluntarily returning their land leases to the government, which have then been turned over to local Indigenous bands for management in their traditional lifestyle. So it's not just an environmental success, it's a success for reconciliation and a lot of positive social movement that we want to make. Now, bringing it close to home, we've seen a lot of success in Edson with our environmental initiatives. The biggest one I want to focus on is waste diversion. So the town of Edson started its curbside organics program in 2018, and this was a program that worked in parallel with the recycling program put on by the Edson District Recycling Society and the town. So the program's been in place for a couple of years now, and we have trending data that is very encouraging for diversion rates. So in 2019, we saw a 57% diversion rate of household waste, 54% diversion in 2020, and in 2021, we were back up to 57%. Now, in the greater context of Canada, the Canadian average diversion rate for residential sources was at 31% in 2018. So we are currently trending much higher than the Canadian average, which is always something that we should celebrate for the success that it is. And additionally, this diverted waste has avoided nearly 6,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions over the 3 years of monitoring since we've implemented the program. So it's not only reducing waste in our landfill, it's reducing emissions in the atmosphere. Edson Youth Council has also done some fantastic work on environmental initiatives recently. A successful one they've done is their tree sharing program, which was in collaboration with Weyerhaeuser Pulp and Paper here and OSB Plant. So Youth Council has distributed over 540 trees to the community for those who wanted them, so they can plant them wherever they see fit. Now, these trees will absorb over 12 tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year. That's all 540 of them. And over the next 50 years, will directly absorb 625 tons of greenhouse gases, which is a very significant amount for such a a small effort and an easy win. Additionally, they put on garbage pickup challenges where youth council has challenged the communities to pick up litter in their neighborhoods, with the neighborhood that picks up the most trash being the winner of this challenge, and they get a sign put up in the neighborhood saying that they've won this challenge, and they get bragging rights for the next year until the challenge is put on again. Additionally, Youth Council has done a green shopper program, which is encouraging residents to use reusable shopping bags when they go to the grocery stores in town, just to cut down on single-use plastic waste. And outside of Earth Day, this is a great initiative to continue even after Earth Day and Earth Week, because it's always a good thing to reduce single-use plastics. So thank you guys for joining this installment of the Edson Sustainability Series. We'll be continuing these quarterly going forward, and we're looking forward to sharing more success stories, more information on environmental initiatives in the town of Edson, in Alberta, and in Canada. Well, thank you.